Hey everyone, IT Golden Panther here, and this is the second video on the trilogy of people who have made the most impact in my life. The reason I picked these three people wasn't because I remember the most about them or because they did the most for me, but because they're the ones I feel I made the closest bond with. They're the ones who I will remember until the day I die, and the ones that I will always call my friends no matter what. They're so important to me, and I hope they all know how much I love and care for them. When I first moved up north to a small town in the middle of nowhere, I didn't know anyone. I was shy, a little nervous, and excited to find out what kind of people were in that kind of area. I slowly met more and more people once the school year started, and eventually came to meet Lou through art. My memory is horrible. It's really bad. But I do slightly recall that we met by either me seeing her artwork and commenting on it, or her seeing mine. We began drawing things back and forth, and I was invited to their lunch table very quickly. I met a lot of people through Lou, and we would hang out quite a lot. Since she was a year ahead of me in high school, I only got to spend 2 years with her, but that was enough to cause some pretty fun hijinks. She and a lot of my other friends actually would often steal my notebooks and take off with them. I would be able to track them down pretty quick, but Lou was the freaking exception. She knew that school in and out, knew exactly where to go, so I wouldn't see her. One particular time this happened was during our first period class, which was choir. We had about 5 minutes before the warning bell rang, and we were both sitting in the alto section. I was looking at a drawing she had done for me, and we were chatting, and when all of a sudden she just grabs the drawing and runs out of the room. I'm freaking shocked for a moment before I bowled after her and down the hallway. Thing is, when I got out to the hallway, I didn't see her at all. I figured she went down to the one that didn't have a dead end and ran that way. I was right, but as I ran past the gym, I forgot to account for the indent in the wall where the doors were. There were small spaces, but they were enough for about 5 to 6 people to stand in comfortably, so I ran past and hear, "Okay." And apparently Lou was hiding in one, because she snuck out, ran to the entrance to the hall that led to the choir. I'm pretty sure I did one of those two-footed, cartoon stops and turned around to see her waving the picture in her hand like a trophy. I could hear the artwork crying out to be saved. The maniacal laughter. It was all very dramatic. So I start running for her again, and she goes down the hallway. When I get to the corner and try to locate this thief, she is nowhere to be found. So I head back into the classroom to find that, surprise, she isn't there. So I walked back out into the hallway, waving a white flag, and told her I give up. She then turns around the corner from another indent in the wall for the band room entrance with the smuggest look on her face. That day I was defeated, but it was fine because we were besties. Another time we were talking about anime and the different shows she had seen. Now, I had been to her room, and it matched one of those weeaboo rooms perfectly. Like stacks of paper, I kid you not, 1.5 feet high, multiple stacks, lined a bookshelf that was completely full of manga and anime movies and TV series. It was pretty impressive, I have to say. The rest of the room was kind of your standard room, though. Picture that as you will, I guess? Anyway, I got off track where I was going with this. Alright, anime. So we were talking about all the different anime we had seen, and she was pretty sure she had seen more than me. So I made a deal that we would come back the next day with a list of all the animes we could think of that we had seen. I stood no chance. So, the next day, I come in, and I have a list of about 9 or 10. I know I have seen more anime than that, but it was what I came up with in one night. Lou walks into choir class, opens her notebook, and I immediately know that I have lost the deal. Because on her page was about 100 titles of different anime. Oh my Lanta! So yeah, I gave up that particular challenge very quickly. But enough about my memories. Let her tell you some of the stuff about us in high school.
What I can remember, Kat, was one time we did a recording at her house, and we got the brilliant idea of doing one of the skits from Game Grumps when John Twan and I forget the other guy's name, when they were playing Sonic, and when Aaron loses his marbles. I'm sorry, I am known to be cursing, but since he said no cursing, I like I use my good language verbals of the curse words. So we were halfway through the recording, and her mother came walking in after her and her dad, her cat's mom and dad went grocery shopping. Her mom comes walking in right when I'm yelling and cursing, and Auntie Cat froze in the seat, and her dad comes walking. I kept on going, and Auntie got back to the group to finish the rest of it, and once we were done, we were just like cracking up, laughing at ourselves from being embarrassed. Well, more her than I was. I was laughing at the whole situation. And another thing I remember was one time when we were getting to know each other a little well. We had we had like another friend who had the same name as her, but their names are spelled differently, but it sounded the same. So I decided, since we had to separate those two some way or another, and I decided to call Cat Cat. So now you know the origin of her nickname. I'm the one who gave her that name. And the reason I gave her that name was because she loved the kitty cats, and she would always drew them around me or around around our friends in high school. So I decided to name her Cat. And let's see. Another time was one time when me and her did another recording. This time it was with someone else. It was me, her, and her brother. And we decided to do a recording of the My Little Pony shipping video, where we laid out the couples that were more shipped than others. And one of them was Discord and Fluttershy. And her brother disagrees with it fully, and when that happened, we decided to do a little funny little skit over that part. When we announced the name of Discord Project, he would flip out and scream, no, 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 disgusting, no, and he would walk out to the room while we were like laughing and screaming, saying, no, come back, we need your opinion. And we got through the video with some good laughs and giggles. And let's see. I have like many more things I can remember, but those will have to be waited for another time. So what I gotta say is that my friend Kat, she's the best friend I ever had, and she will always be my bestest friend. And I hope we stay friends for more years to come. And I bid you adieu. Bye-bye.
Aww. I wasn't supposed to talk this, but I never heard the end of that, and that made me really happy. Aww. My soul. After the year she graduated, she ended up going to college in Utah for animation, and we continued to keep in touch. She would show me her artwork was progressing, and I could also see it through DeviantArt, as well as where we would both post up our work. Lou and I still talk a lot today, and we've become those friends where time doesn't exactly matter. We can stop talking for weeks and just pop into each other's inbox like no time has passed at all. We still do art together and sometimes collab. Quite often now that I think about it. Lou has remained a constant friend, and I cherish her for how upbeat and optimistic she is. However, I don't think her kind of spunk and crazy could beat my college roommate.